as of the taping of this show, Bloomington has had 71 burglaries since the start of 2018. Here to share more on the topic of burglaries here in our city is Bloomington Police Commander Kevin Herman. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you oversee the investigative division, so I only thought it was appropriate to have you come in and talk a little bit about this kind of a craze, if you will, of burglaries that are occurring in our city. There's a hot zone, kind of a hot time that's going on. So can you tell us, the viewers, what's going on, who's involved, if you know any suspects, and the MO and all that stuff, just to give people some...
71 seems like a high number. We're only 3 more than our 2017 numbers. So we've had a rash in 2 different areas of the city that I'd like to talk about and get the information out there to citizens so that hopefully we can catch these guys. But I do want to point out that we're pretty much on par for what would be a normal rate of burglary throughout the city. So the first one I want to talk about occurred over the summer months in area town, kind of from Penn to Portland, north of about 90th Street, so kind of the north central part of the city, and they were all happening overnight. We developed a bunch of suspects and figured out with a bunch of crime analysts and detectives from throughout the metro area that this group of primarily juveniles have been involved in nighttime burglaries, and they have hit over 50 places, primarily in the southwest and western suburbs, but they range all the way up to Anoka. We've identified 12 of them, and we're working at rounding them up and building cases on them now. There's warrants out for several of them, and the MO is for them to either enter an unlocked house or garage or an unlocked car in the driveway. Once they're in the driveway, if they get into the car, they open up the garage with a garage door opener, and then they actually enter the house. Very dangerous, and we don't have very many of these occupied nighttime burglaries. Back in the old days, we used to call them cat burglaries because you'd have to enter quiet as a cat, steal things from inside the house. This ring is working on credit cards primarily, so they'll grab purses or billfolds, grab the credit cards. On their way out, they steal the car that they have the keys for, and then they promptly go on a credit card buying spree with the stolen credit cards. So we've identified, as I said, 12 of those suspects. All of them live in North Minneapolis or the Brooklyn Center area that we've identified at this point, and we're working on rounding them up. I'm happy to say that those burglaries stopped at Labor Day. So once school started, things kind of died out. We're working with all of the detectives and crime analysts in the Western Metro, and have word out to all of the liaison officers in the area to figure out where those kids are going to school, because a lot of them have transitory addresses. We don't have good addresses on a lot of them. So that's an ongoing investigation. As I said, those burglaries primarily died down, but still, just a word to the crime prevention aspect here. If you lock your houses, lock your garages, and make sure that those cars are locked, none of those burglaries would be occurring, because none of them had any damage to get in.
So if the car was locked and had a remote, they left those alone?
Yep, we didn't have any actual break-ins, no damage to get in. It was all kind of citizen enabled by either mistakenly leaving things open or just not locking their garages, their houses, or their cars.
Interesting. We've always talked on the show of some crime prevention tips. One of the biggest things I always key in on is if you park your car in your driveway and you have a remote garage door opener, that's the key to your house. Whether your car's locked or not, that's a key to your house, and so that's actually happening. So hopefully, a note to everybody out there that's watching, lock your stuff up and take those garage door openers in, because some people will smash your windows to get in. And so that's the juvenile group. There's another group.
Yeah, there's another. Well, I wish I could even tell you it was a group. We don't have a lot of suspect information for this second string of burglaries, but these are daytime burglaries. They happen primarily from 8 in the morning till about 3 in the afternoon, and the houses are all unoccupied, and they run from about Penn Avenue to the west all the way to Highway 169, primarily south of Old Shakopee Road, but some of them are north of Old Shakopee Road. And we have a variety of suspect descriptions and vehicle descriptions, but none of them really match enough to for us to confirm that it's a good description. So I don't even want to put it out there, but I would ask anybody that lives in that area, please be very cognizant during the daytime of strange vehicles and strange people coming and going if they're going to be on foot in your neighborhood, especially if they're in your backyard. And if anybody has residential video, please check your video for us, and if you see anybody in the area that doesn't belong, let us know right away. You can call the main police department number in order to get that video turned in, and anything that we use, we maintain confidentiality, so nobody would know that it's your video that we use to round these burglars up.
Perfect.
And these are forced burglaries.
These are forced burglaries, yeah. So the ones that we've seen in the southwest and in the south central part of town, they're actually breaking into the houses, primarily in the backyards, but sometimes in the front. There's really no pattern that we can make out of that so far.
And this burglar or group is targeting different things than the juveniles were on the east side of town, correct?
Yep, they're stealing property out of it. We've had several firearms that have been taken, which is always troubling to us, but electronics and various household items are taken, not just the credit card. And we've also had no vehicle thefts as a result of this. So much different MO from the nighttime ones that we've seen.
So reporting suspicious activity is not texting your neighbor or your daughter and saying, yeah, I saw something suspicious. We want you to call 911.
Yep, we run into that all the time where people don't want to call 911, don't want to bother us, and all three of us can attest from working overnights back in the day. We would get all kinds of calls for the newspaper delivery man that's working from 3 to 5. We don't mind that at all. You know, if you see something that you think is suspicious, give us a call and let us follow up on it. That's how we do our best work, is with the eyes of the community working on our side.
Correct.
Right, you know, the citizens of the community know their residential neighborhoods the best. They probably know them obviously better than we do. So those little things, those little details are super important for you to call us on and let us handle identifying those people. And if it's nothing, then it's nothing. But see something, say something. That's kind of what we preach around here. 911 is that tool to call and get these calls in right away. So we're not waiting too long, and these people are gone out of the neighborhoods, and we can't even follow up then. So.
And speaking, I live in Bloomington, and I don't want to end up being one of these victims, and I feel bad for all the people that have. So let's catch us a burglar, call in suspicious activity. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Commander Herman, is there anything else you can think of, Sharon, or you want to talk about in relation to these burglaries, or you think we got it all?
I think that covers it. Thanks for getting the word out, and to your viewing audience, we appreciate your help. Thanks.
All right, thank you.